Okay, hi everyone. My name is Faith. For anyone here who doesn't know who I am, I have been with Monate since April 2022. So it's been a little over a year and a half. And for about 6 years prior to that, I had been building my social media platforms. I was working with brands. I actually started mostly on YouTube. And then switched to Instagram and was growing an audience there. So social media is something that I've been doing a long time. And I think what often holds people back from elevating their money business to the next level is social media because they're afraid to start or they feel overwhelmed or fearful of what people might think or all these different things and they just don't really know where to start. So my goal with this series is to help you, first of all, overcome those fears, right? Because if you have a fearful mindset or something holding you back from starting social media to begin with, we can never really get to a place where we're posting good content, right? So in this series, I want to help you feel overwhelmed and just make sure you're muting yourself. Make sure you feel less overwhelmed and give you those tools and resources to feel confident and really get the ball rolling on social media. And tonight I'm going to be looping in Sarah, who I joined with back in April of 2022. And she has built an amazing platform on social media. She was someone who didn't even have a following really prior to Monate, like wasn't posting on social media. And I can't wait to hear what she has to say too. But I think understanding, hold on, let me share my screen. Share screen. Here we go. Hold on. Okay. Can we see this? What happens if I click present? Okay. Can you guys can see this? Like, yes, hopefully. Hopefully. I don't know if I can't see the chat, so hopefully you guys can see it.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Here we go. Why is social media important? Okay. So I want you to think of your social media as like a resume or a library of resources that backs up what you're talking about to people, either in person or online. So it's going to be a lot easier to sell someone on the products or the business if your page highlights the products and the business. Think of it also like a storefront. If you were to walk by a storefront that had nothing in the window, would you be prompted to go in? No, you wouldn't. That's why we need social media set up with some posts supporting what you're going to be talking about. That's why those initial posts when you first start your business are so important. And we're going to get into more of that in a little bit. To take that analogy a step further, if you were to walk by a storefront and the window display was like all a mess or it was confusing or not attracting to the eye, not aesthetically pleasing, would you be prompted to go in? No, you wouldn't. So we need to make sure that our page not only backs up what we're saying in person, but also is attractive. And so as we continue on in this series, this is part one of a 4-part series that I'm running this month. We are going to be helping you to make those posts attractive to your audience. You can hear me, right? Hopefully, I thought someone said they couldn't hear me. You know that reel going around that is like, who does she think she is posting like an influencer or like, oh, Sabrina thinks she is posting like an influencer. Do you know the one I'm talking about? Okay, so I love that and I've seen it recreated, but I actually want you to think about you're not posting like an influencer, you're posting like a business owner. Okay. So an influencer really only needs to account for themselves. They're posting what they want when they want, and if it's required for payment. Okay. And so we want to be posting like business owners. Business owners take their stakeholders into account. So your stakeholders are your VIP customers or your potential VIP customers or your market partners or potential business partners. And a business owner shows up even when they don't feel like it. And there's more days where I probably don't feel like showing up on stories or posting a reel than I do. I'm a mom of two. I've got crazy kids running around all the time. It'd be very easy for me to not show up and just make an excuse that I'm too busy or I don't look the part or whatever it is. But we're business owners. We're not influencers. So we show up even when we don't feel like it. So now I want to know, before I loop Sarah in, what holds you back? And I want you to actually put in the chat too. Like, which of, is it one of these? Is it fear of what people might think? Is it not knowing what to post? Those are the two biggest ones I hear. Or is it something else? And put it in the chat, because I'm going to have Sarah take over here in a second. And she's built such an amazing social media platform. So I just had to ask her to be on this call, but I want your input so she can kind of cater what she has to say based on your answers. In particular, if it is not knowing what to post, we have an amazing resource to share with you tonight. And I will put it in the chat, a link to it in the chat here at the end. But it's a 30 days of posting content calendar that we've created. It's going to give you so many good prompts and ideas. So I'm going to be posting that in here, but it looks like the chat is popping off with a bunch of stuff. So that's awesome. There's the 30 days of post calendar. Okay. And I'm going to have Sarah unmute herself. This is Sarah's page. I think when I joined with her, she was at like, I don't know, maybe around 20 or 30,000 followers. And she's more than doubled that in the year that we've been working. She has built such an amazing platform. But really, aside from building that, what I think she is so good at is the mindset piece of it, and not letting other people, I don't know. I want her to take over now. I'll let you, Sarah, take over. Yes.
I'm here.
All right.
Hi, guys. First of all, Faith, we have to get you a bigger Zoom for the rest of these, because people are like in the chats like, I went in, because you literally kill it on social media. I learned stuff from Faith every single day when it comes to social media, but she's right. Like, without the mindset that I have around it, I probably never would have posted, because I think a lot of people, when they get started, is you start, and most of you start, and the only people that you have on social media are the people that you know in person. And everyone, I've literally talked to girls and they're like, I just want to start on TikTok because no one knows me over there. Like, my friends and family aren't going to see what I'm posting and And I'm like, no, your friends and family need to see what you're posting. Okay. So start on Instagram. You can also use TikTok, but don't be afraid of that. And I understand, I get it. Okay. Cause it's like, even for me, like when I was a server, if one of my friends or family like came into the restaurant that I was serving at and they had to hear me do my like silly server voice to the table that I'm serving, that's like embarrassing, or when I'm like literally talking to my phone and Dalton walks in, my husband walks in, and I'm like, it's embarrassing. And I get it. And I still sometimes feel that way, but you have to get past that. You have to push past that and just do it, because you are a professional. Okay. So your social media now is no longer for just for your friends and family. It's no longer just for posting pictures of your dog or whatever you were doing in the past. You are now a professional. So you have to get used to your friends and family seeing you in a professional setting. And at first, they might not take you seriously. Okay. When I first started, no one took me seriously. Okay. And that's the thing. Like, you have to earn that, right? No one's going to take you seriously right away. But if you're not showing up and taking it seriously yourself, they never will. So you're kind of an easy target when you first get started for your friends poking fun at you, or people thinking, who does she think she is? Or someone trying to say a negative thing. Like, those things never work. You're an easy target in the beginning because a lot of people don't show up with like this confidence and like knowing that this works. in the very beginning, because you might not have seen the results yet, right? You might not have the paycheck. You might be afraid that, so sometimes it's like this what is it? The imposter syndrome. Sometimes it's like imposter syndrome. And you're like, well, I haven't made all this money yet. And you're afraid that someone's going to ask you or find that out. You guys, it's okay. You have to have faith knowing that what you're doing. You have to look at the people who've gone before you. This is what really helped me in the beginning, was like looking at my badass mentors and being like, they did it. They succeeded at it. They don't give a shit what anyone thinks. They're killing it. They are like who I want to be like, right? This is who I aspire to be like. So this is how I need to show up. And when I would think about the people that might make fun of me for doing what I'm doing, I would compare the two. I'd be like, who do I care more about? Like, do I care about the opinions of these people who might make fun of me, who are literally sitting on the sidelines? Or do I want to like put myself out there and eventually get to this place where I'm doing the same thing with these girls, right? Like you have to look at that. Like, do you really care about the opinions of someone sitting on the sidelines? For me, it's literally like thinking about, do you think these guys in the NFL care about the old 50-year-old balding man sitting there eating potato chips on his couch that's like, why'd he throw that pass? Like, they don't care. They're making money. They're out here in the spotlight. They're out here on the field, and the people sitting in the stands, like, they don't care, right? So that's kind of how you have to be. Like, don't be afraid of the opinions of the people who are just afraid to put themselves out there. And this is going to be a little bit of a gut punch for some of you. But if you're someone who, one thing that I've realized is that a lot of the times the people who are the most afraid of being judged are the ones who kind of are a little bit judgy, right? So if you are afraid of being judged, I want you to think about, where are you kind of judgy, right? Are you judging yourself? Are you judging other people like a lot? Like, do you sit around and judge other people, or are you doing your thing? Are you so busy bettering yourself and doing your thing that you don't have time to judge other people? When you get to that spot, you'll be less concerned with other people's judgments as well. So when you keep that in mind too, the people that are judging you, they have this somewhat of like they envy you. You might not have even made $1 yet, but they envy the fact that you were able to put yourself out there. So that's something I want you guys to keep in mind when you're afraid of judgment. I'm going to cover all of these that you guys put in the chat, because all of these things, like all of these mindset things have come up for me. But also remember that no one's thinking about you as much as you're thinking about you, right? People are watching you, and no one's like going like their whole day, it just pops up, oh my gosh, I can't believe so-and-so is posting about shampoo on her story. Like, no, they're literally scrolling through. And the thing is, half the time, if you're like on your story and you're like doing your story over and over again because you don't like how you said this, you don't like how you said that, half the time, you guys, people are literally not even listening. Like, they're probably not even listening, which you want to get them to listen, right? Eventually, they're not listening until they are. Because eventually they're going to be like, what is this girl always talking about? Why does she always have her face in front of the camera? What is she always talking about? They're going to stop, and eventually they're going to listen, and that's going to be the time that you get them. That's why you have to be repetitive. You might be like, I literally said this last week. I literally said this exact thing 2 days ago. I told my story 2 days ago. You have to keep doing it, because it's going to be like the time that the person stops and listens, that's going to be the time that you get them. Okay, so don't be afraid to be repetitive. It's really a muscle. You got to use it or lose it. And then this is the big one that I saw a couple times in the chat, is like, a lot of people think that your life is boring. You don't have value to add to people. Your house isn't aesthetically pleasing enough. You're not whatever enough. I want you guys to know that you started a social media business in the best time to ever possibly start a social media business, because the curated, perfect influencer is out and the real people are in. The real people are winning right now, okay? Your house doesn't have to be perfect. If it is, that's awesome too. You're going to find your people as well. But if it's not, and you're showing up as yourself, you're going to find your people. You guys, half the time building my business, I was living in an RV. And then the next half of the time, I was living in a crappy little dumpy house with kids' toys in the background every time I posted a reel. And I just didn't care. And my social media was still growing. And you just have to show up and be yourself and be real. And even the mundane things. I see a girl, literally, I'm looking at the screen, I'm going to call you out. I see a girl cutting carrots right now. Like that right now You literally could be posting that on your story and people are like interested. They're like, oh, I wonder what she's making. I'm like kind of interested. Like, what are you doing? You know? So everything that you think is boring or whatever, like someone else is going to be interested in. People love, share it, share the mundane, share your thoughts, share like you have something of value to add to people and don't think that you have to be anyone else. Okay. I think that's it. Did I cover pretty much everyone's the not knowing what to post? Faith it definitely has you guys covered there.
Yes, I'm gonna pop that in the chat right now. So this Google Doc has the 30 days of posting calendar. And thank you, Sarah. That is so good. Like you just always nail it with mindset and all of that. So thank you so much. And I really think that this content calendar, it kind of gives you like a no excuses, right? Because you can just look at this and be like, all right, this is my homework. Like I have to do this each day. Like it gives you an idea of exactly what to post. And one thing I want to say is, so this metaphor came to me because my daughter's Summer, she, for whatever reason, has developed a little bit of a fear or a phobia of having her hair washed. I don't know if any of you guys have toddlers who hate the bath. I know a lot of kids love the bath. I don't know. She's never loved the bath. And it's just developed, it's gotten worse and worse. And so my initial reaction was, well, we're just not going to wash her hair as much. So I was only washing her hair like once or twice a week. The phobia got worse and worse. And then my husband and I talked and we're like, okay, we're going to wash her hair every single night. Okay. It's been now only 3 days in a row and she's over it. Like it's not even a big deal anymore. We've figured out how to like get her through it. And I think like just forcing yourself to just do it every day, it's going to feel so much less. You're going to feel so much less fear after you just get over it and start posting consistently. So that's what I wanted to leave you with. Actually, if we could do this, can you just blast the chat with your Instagram handles? Everyone put your Instagram handle in the chat. And I'm going to challenge all of you to post on social media tonight or tomorrow morning if you haven't already, with either the 30-day guide or something you already have in mind. I want you to randomly write down or pick 2 or 3 accounts you see here. Just 2 or 3, just randomly. And then I want you to go hype that person up tomorrow. Just give them some love, make them feel good for getting out there, because I know that it can be scary. So find a little buddy that you're gonna just give some love to in the next day or two. And I'll let you guys finish up. I really hope that this was helpful, and I'm so excited for next week. So next week, same time, same day, same time, we're going to be talking about, I'm not sure if I have the topic. I have the topics picked. I just don't know which one we're doing next week. So stay tuned in the chats for that. And I hope you guys have an amazing night. Thank you again, Sarah. And we will talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.